This is called Pretty Girls. This right here is for all my girls who no longer feel like pretty girls. All the diamonds in the rough who never thought they was good enough. The good girls gone bad. I'm one of them. We're the ones you read about in the crime section of the newspaper ads. Some of us had fathers, but some of us did come from deadbeat dads. Some of us had mothers, but half of them acted like they forgot they even had daughters. We're the girls who had our innocence taken, and in return, our entire lives were shaken. We didn't have the luxury to wait for marriage, while some of y'all were probably being good Christians, waiting on your God-sent husbands. We were the girls in the clinics having abortions and miscarriages. We're the girls who used drugs and alcohol beverages just to gain a false sense of leverage, to cover up the pain, to keep it off our brains so we wouldn't end up going insane. Some of us was just little girls when that individual destroyed our world. We didn't know what was happening, so we just laid there, did nothing, hoping that we were just imagining it. After being used, abused, and mistreated, we grew up thinking we just weren't worth it, so in return, we used our bodies just for a quick benefit. At some point, we forgot women ruled the world. Eve tried to teach us that back in Genesis, but for those of you who still don't get it, let me add a little more emphasis. You see, sex turned into our arch nemesis. Because of how sex was first introduced, our self-worth immediately was reduced. Some of us became straight hoes, while some of us went after that dough, put on them high-heel shoes, and became full-blown prostitutes. And let's not forget about the baby mamas. God knows we've been through the most drama. Some of us got pregnant through incest or rape and forced ourselves to take that easy escape. While some of us was buried with shame and afraid of putting that shame on our family name, not knowing how they would react. Some of us just did it because we weren't in the mood to be verbally attacked. So as we laid on that table and bleed, all alone we held our stomachs while we killed our unborn seeds. And then for some of us, losing the child was forced. The night before, we was beat with no signs of remorse. We went to sleep in our beds, leaving us cramping in a flood of blood all over our bedspreads because the man that we loved and thought loved us, the same man that we put in all of our trust, turned out to be nothing more than the devil dressed up ready for war. And then some of us gave birth. Having a child gave us a sense of rebirth. It was almost like that first glance made us feel like this was God giving us another chance. And then some of us doing a lot of things we thought was out of love turned out to be a lot of things today we're just not proud of. I had 3 miscarriages and I also had 2 abortions, but I also gave birth. But I didn't stop at 1, 2, or 3. I have 4 babies. DJ, CJ, Sanai, and Sari, and they all mean the world to me. So with all that being said, shout out to all the baby mamas with 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 or 6 different baby daddies, because don't nobody know all of our stories. But it's okay, because we can still rise and give God glory, because one day our misery will be our ministry, and we will stand fearlessly, knowing that God washed away our sins too when he sent his son to die back on Calvary. Now shout out to all the virgins and all the women practicing abstinence. I commend your ability to wait for your perfect mate, because you realized early that you were the bait and you didn't allow any man to come along to dictate your fate. That story is cute and all, but I didn't write this poem for y'all. I wrote this so girls like me could stand tall, to let y'all know that even when you fall, his line is always open for your call. It just starts by us knocking down that wall, because when you're ready, he accepts everyone, flaws and all. So it's time for us to pick our heads up and hold them high and start leaving these unworthy men out here bone dry. It's been far too long of us letting the devil win this war. It's time for us to close that door and stop letting what happened in our past be an excuse for us to continue to be drunks, drug addicts, and whores.